Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Starting the Day the Right Way. 5-minute devotion coming in a little late. We had a little computer technology earlier in the day, so I couldn't get this uploaded. But now at 5 o'clock, I'm going to get it uploaded because God's been talking to me about it all day long. So we'll get right into it. Today's verse comes from Genesis 33, verses 1 through 4. Okay, and I'm going to give you two different versions again. I'm going to give you one from the Message, and then also one from the New Living Translation. Okay, so here is how the Message puts it. The Message puts it this way: Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with his 400 men. He divided the children between Leah and Rachel and the two maidservants. He put the maidservants out in front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. He led the way, and as he approached, his brother bowed 7 times, honoring his brother. But Esau ran up and embraced him, held him tight, and kissed him, and they both wept. The New Living Translation puts it this way: Then Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming with 400 men. So he divided the children among Leah, Rachel, and his 2 servant wives. He put the servant wives and their children at the front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph last. Then Jacob went on ahead. As he approached his brother, he bowed to the ground 7 times before him. Then Esau ran to meet him and embraced him, threw his arms around his neck, and kissed him, and they both wept. So the reason why I believe God led me to this verse is because, we're working on things with our 8-year-old, and we're teaching him how to forgive and apologize, and me and my wife are trying to model that to him. And when we do wrong by him, we make sure to make an extra concerted effort to make sure, listen, we're so sorry, we should have did things this way instead of that way. Can you forgive us? And, because of what he modeled, what we've modeled before him, he has always said, yes, of course, Daddy, I love you. Of course, Mommy, I love you. Right? We never would expect him to say, no, I don't forgive you. Right? So just a little background story here, what was going on between Jacob and Esau. Jacob had stolen a couple of pretty important things from Esau. He had stolen his blessing from his dad and his birthright. And basically Esau had given it away really for a bowl of soup and for nothing, right? So this particular portion of passage was taking 20 years later after these events. And quite honestly, Jacob did not know how Esau was gonna treat him. Jacob knew what he had done to Esau. He knew that he had deceived him years ago. So this must be replaying in his mind for the last 20 years. But knowing that he was now going back, he just wasn't sure, whether Esau was going to take him out, trying to take revenge on him. He didn't know what to do. So he just approached him, and he approached him very humbly, and he bowed before him 7 times, which was very symbolic. Before him. And basically the 2 brothers end up meeting in the middle and just embracing each other and both weeping. And it got me to thinking, because our son he'll apologize when he does something wrong. He'll apologize multiple times throughout the day. So, Daddy, I'm so sorry for when I did this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, buddy, listen, the first time you apologized and the first time you asked for forgiveness, it was done. I don't even remember. And God says the same thing. He throws it into the sea of forgetfulness. And so we have to explain that. But it further got me thinking, how often do us as believers not believe that we've been forgiven, right? How often do we live by the sins that we've committed years ago and that God has already forgiven us for, right? The moment that we've repented of the sin and we turned from it, God forgot about it. He got rid of it. He threw it away. We're the ones who constantly remember it. We're the ones who bring it back. We're the ones who think about it and almost like control our body back into that situation of sin. And then it starts us going down a path of feeling bad and guilty and horrible. And no wonder our relationship with God is skewed, because that's not who God says we are. All right. And that's what we're teaching our son. Listen, buddy, I love you for who you are, no matter what you do, which God does. He sent his son when we were sinners, not after we were all cleaned up, when we were sinners. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I'm going to love you forever, no matter what you do. And it's hard for him to get a hold of that concept. He's like, really? I said, really, buddy, no matter what you do, I will always love you. And God always loves us. We keep bringing up our sins. Don't live from that point of view. Live from the point of view of who God says you are. God says you're redeemed, you're clean, you're white as snow. So I encourage you to dig into these passages. There's always so much more in a couple of passages, but I just want to, at this point in the day, it'll get you into the evening, and we'll see you tomorrow morning. All right. Have a great Friday night, and we'll talk to you soon.